It's funny because I was, I was sharing this story with someone the other day. They were asking me, so, when did you do your first flip? Have you ever been, burned by by a contractor, by a GC? You hear these horror stories of people that are maybe just starting in the real estate investing space, and maybe doing the first flip, or have done a few deals here and there. And you hear the horror stories that their contractors pretty much up and took off with their money, didn't do the work, or left it incomplete, or did a terrible job. And of course you hear that a lot from consumers, the regular homeowner just trying to do standard home renovations. And while obviously that's a terrible thing, that's not necessarily what I'm talking about right now. Right now I'm talking specifically to real estate investors that are looking to do rehabs and fix and flips, and obviously you have tight margins, you're trying to make a profit, and of course you need to trust a GC to go ahead and do the job for you, and do a good job, and stay within budget, and hopefully not up and take off with your money, whether it's your own money or investor capital, which, by the way, that's what we use a lot is investor capital. So imagine we have that extra added layer of responsibility, because we have to make sure that we're properly managing our investors' funds, our funding partners. And so our first deal, okay, I was always afraid to get into the rehabbing space. We started doing wholesales and just basically flipping contracts, assigning contracts, and I didn't really know much about home renovations from the construction side of it. And it's funny looking back now. We have a couple, we have several actually, 7-figure development projects going on right now. And so it's funny for me to think back when when I was just getting started, and it wasn't that long ago. I mean, this was back in 2015, 2016. So short 5 years ago. And so my first deal, my first rehab, it was a property that I meant to wholesale. It was such a good deal. I wasn't getting the price I wanted from the other flippers, the other rehabbers that I was trying to sell it to. And I saw the value, I saw the potential in the deal, and I just didn't want to let it go. So, at the time, I had established a really nice relationship with this contractor who also happened to do home inspections, and he was doing all the inspections for me on my wholesales. And I talk about this in different videos and different interviews, where I would basically put a property under contract at a good price, have the inspection done, and then based on the outcome and the findings of the inspection report, the results of the inspection, I would use that to go back and negotiate a price reduction with the homeowner, and either be able to pass those savings on to my buyer, or increase my margins. But anyways, I go into that in a little more detail in other videos. But I had developed a very, very good relationship with this GC, with this contractor. So my first thought was, when I decided I wanted to try to take this project on, it was a very small rehab. It was just cosmetics, literally just refacing cabinets, flooring, some paint, interior, exterior paint, just a very, very basic rehab. But I approached them with the deal, and I said, look, I'll put up the funds to acquire the property through my funding sources. So that's because I use hard money, I use private financing, and all you need to do is just put up the rehab budget, and we'll split the deal 50-50. So, it was a $150,000 purchase. I took care of that part, and they covered the rehab budget, which is about $25,000. And because, he was invested in the deal, he actually came in under budget and very quick turnaround on the work, and we were actually able to sell this property and make a really, really, really nice return on it. And so, I learned a lot from that, because it was my first rehab. Okay, little things about, types of flooring, baseboards, cabinets, paint. It's funny to say, because my background was more on the finance side and the legal side, but like I said, I did learn a lot. And from there on out, I mean, we've probably done, I would say easily at least a dozen deals together. But I learned what it takes to do a flip, and like I said, I mean, now we're doing huge, like I said, 7-figure luxury development projects, real estate development projects, and I'll tell you, even with these contractors, these builders that I use now, again, are builders that I have long-standing relationships with. So I think the key is